Clockwork Orange is a dystopian novel written by Anthony Burgess and published in 1962. Set in an unspecified but plausibly near future, the book follows the story of Alex DeLarge, a teenage leader of a gang of delinquents who engages in violent crimes and acts of rebellion. After committing murder, Alex is arrested and subjected to the Ludovico technique, a process that conditions him to associate nausea and pain with violent actions, rendering him unable to defend himself or make independent choices. The title itself refers to the Cockney expression "as queer as a clockwork orange," which Burgess interprets as something organic made artificial. This reflects the main topic of the book, the conflict between free will and forced control. The work explores whether it is better to be forced to do good or to have the freedom to choose, even at risk of doing evil. Alex, a symbol of the freedom to choose, is stripped of this ability by the Ludovico technique, becoming a biological automaton, raising ethical questions about the relationship between morality and coercion. Another emblematic theme within the novel is violence, seen both through the eyes of those who perpetrated it and those who suffer from it. It is brutal, but it is presented through the stylized filter of Nadsat, the adolescent slang invented by Burgess, which blends Russian, English, and slang. This creates a narrative distance that prevents the reader from easily judging the characters, forcing them to reflect on the nature of violence and its representation in culture. A Clockwork Orange was later brought to the big screen in 1971 with the homonymous film directed by the renowned filmmaker Stanley Kubrick. It stands as one of the most controversial and iconic works in cinema history, celebrated for its bold storytelling and philosophical implication, but also criticized for its explicit depictions of violence and sexuality. Kubrick employs a visually distinctive style characterized by symmetry, vivid colors, and meticulously crafted compositions, with framing and camera movements designed to evoke alienation. The soundtrack, often composed of electronic arrangements of classical pieces, accentuates the contrast between stylized violence and the beauty of the music, as exemplified in the use of Beethoven. The use of Nadsat, although reduced compared to the novel, contributes to creating a sense of cultural estrangement. Kubrick delves into violence as a social product and a universal human trait, reflecting on the tension between free will, social control, and the ethics of forced rehabilitation. The movie, like the novel, critiques authoritarian power and governmental control, illustrating how political and social institutions exploit Alex both as a scapegoat and as a propaganda tool. Alex's character transitions from perpetrator to victim of a system that acts solely in its own interest. As often happens, the literary work differs from the cinematic one in certain aspects. The most significant difference is the absence of the 21st chapter of the novel in many American editions and in the film, where Alex shows signs of maturation and abandons violence, suggesting that change can occur spontaneously. This omission alters the message. The novel offers an optimistic view of redemption, while the film emphasizes the perpetual cycle of violence. Moreover, the film simplifies or reduces the characterization of several secondary characters, such as Alex's gang members, his parents, the prison chaplain, and Dr. Brodsky. In conclusion, we can say that A Clockwork Orange by Anthony Burgess is a complex work that explores human nature and social control through an innovative language and a provocative plot. As for Stanley Kubrick's movie, initially controversial due to accusation of inciting violence, to the point that it was temporarily withdrawn from theaters in the United Kingdom, it is now considered a classic of cinema, famous for its cultural and artistic impact and for combining entertainment with philosophical reflection. In summary, the essence of the work can be encapsulated in a quote from the prison chaplain. When a man cannot choose, he ceases to be a man.